The Galactic Academy of Defense and Strategy, nestled on the neutral planet of Xipheron, was a gleaming beacon of interstellar unity and military excellence. Here, the galaxy's brightest young minds gathered to learn, train, and prepare for the inevitable conflicts that peppered the cosmos. Jack Harper, a recent graduate from the Terran Space Force Academy, stood at the entry port of the Academy's main training facility, his duffel bag slung over one shoulder, feeling conspicuously underdressed. Around him, students of various species shimmered in specialized armor, scales, and bioshields, their bodies adorned with the latest in defensive technology. Jack, in contrast, wore a simple, durable fabric uniform, standard issue from Earth, no armor, no enhancements. His arrival did not go unnoticed. Whispers filled the air, a mixture of curiosity and incredulity, as eyes of every shape and color observed him. Jack was a Deathworlder, a term used in the galaxy for species originating from particularly hostile planets. Earth, with its rampant diseases, high gravity, and aggressive ecosystems, fit the bill perfectly. "Can you believe it? No armor. Is he mad, or just foolish?" hissed a reptilian Kaldreshi to her comrade. Jack pretended not to hear. He was used to this by now. After all, Earth's reputation often preceded him. Commandant VRYXX, a towering figure with chitinous plating and multifaceted eyes, approached Jack. His voice boomed, resonating through the translator embedded in Jack's ear. "Cadet Harper, welcome to the Galactic Academy. It is unusual to see a cadet so unprepared." Jack smiled, a gesture he hoped appeared friendly rather than nervous. "Sir, on Earth, we say that the best armor is the one you don't have to wear. I'm here to learn, not to hide." VRYXX clicked his mandibles, a sign Jack had learned meant amusement among the VRYX species. "Very well, cadet. We shall see if your Earth philosophies hold up under our training regime." The Commandant handed Jack a scheduled chip. "Your orientation begins in 1 hour. Until then, familiarize yourself with your quarters and your classmates." Dismissed. As Jack navigated through the corridors of the Academy, the weight of his decision pressed on him. Here, in this cosmic melting pot of technologies and philosophies, he was an outlier, a primitive, some might say. Yet, there was a fire in his gut, an earth-born stubbornness that made him want to prove not just his own worth, but that of his entire world. Jack's room was utilitarian, with a bed, a desk, and a communications terminal. His roommate, a Tynaxian named Cyrix, was already unpacking. A cloud of fine mist surrounded him, a portable humidifier maintaining the high moisture levels his amphibian-like species preferred. Cyrix eyed Jack's lack of equipment with visible disbelief. "You really came with no protective gear? Aren't you worried about the combat simulations?" Jack unpacked his bag, setting out the few personal items he'd brought from Earth, a photo of his family, a small model of his first spaceship, and a well-worn book of Earth's military strategies. "Worry doesn't help where I'm from," Jack replied with a grin. "We train to adapt. Besides, I hear these simulations are quite something. I'm eager to see if they're as tough as they say." Cyrix croaked a laugh. "You humans are either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish. Maybe both. I'm looking forward to seeing this bravery in action." The orientation that followed was a blur of rules, regulations, and an overwhelming amount of alien faces. Jack listened attentively, making mental notes of everything from emergency protocols to dining hall etiquette. The real challenge, however, lay ahead, the combat drills that were whispered about even during the solemn parts of the orientation. As Jack lay in his bunk that night, staring at the metallic ceiling, he thought about what the next day would bring. He thought about Earth, about the relentless training under harsh conditions, about his family and friends who believed in him. He wasn't just here to pass. He was here to excel. And as he drifted off to sleep, a single thought echoed in his mind: let them be shocked. This opening sets the stage for a story filled with cultural shocks, unexpected friendships, and a deep dive into the resilience of a human among the stars. The subsequent parts would continue to build on this foundation, exploring Jack's journey and the broader implications of his presence at the Academy. If you want me to continue writing this story, just let me know. Jack's first day of actual training at the Academy started with a physical evaluation. The facility's gym was a vast, dome-shaped structure, filled with training equipment that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Anti-gravity treadmills, strength testing machines calibrated for species with variable bone densities, and combat arenas with adjustable environmental settings to mimic any planet's conditions were scattered throughout the space. Among the students, there was a noticeable division: those who viewed Jack as a novelty and those who saw him as a potential threat. The former approached him with questions tinged with curiosity and disbelief. "Is it true humans can survive temperatures that would freeze blood of a Thelnarian?" one asked, his voice echoing through his translator with a hint of incredulity. Jack chuckled, stretching his muscles before stepping onto a gravity treadmill. "We can survive quite a bit, but we prefer not to test those limits without good reason." As Jack began his run, adjusting the gravity setting higher than what most cadets used, a small crowd gathered. They watched as his strides remained strong and steady, his face set in determination but not distress. One of the lead trainers, a massive Ulgar with skin like molten rock, crossed his arms as he observed. Instructor Groth was notorious for pushing students to their limits, believing that the harshest conditions produced the strongest warriors. "He relies too much on his natural ability," Groth muttered to a fellow instructor, a lithe, sharp-eyed Zeltrax. "Let's see how he handles the combat scenarios." The day's main event was a series of combat drills designed to assess tactical thinking, reflexes, and adaptability. Jack, still without any armor, entered the simulation chamber, a high-tech space capable of creating virtually any battle scenario imaginable. His first challenge, a desert skirmish against robotic drones programmed to mimic Crawdon raiders, notorious for their guerrilla tactics. The temperature in the chamber soared, and sands whipped around, reducing visibility to just a few meters. Jack tapped into what he had learned during his time in the Terran deserts: stay low, move fast, and use the environment to his advantage. He sprinted from cover to cover, using concise bursts of speed to avoid the drone sensors before disabling them with precise hits to their power cores. From the observation deck, Cyrix watched with a mix of awe and concern. "He moves like he's part of the sandstorm, not fighting against it," he remarked to a fellow Tynaxian. The instructors noted Jack's performance, Groth's previous skepticism slowly giving way to a grudging respect. After the drills, while most cadets relaxed, Jack was approached by Instructor Groth. The Ulgar's voice was gruff but carried an undercurrent of genuine interest. "Harper, tomorrow we raise the stakes. A live combat drill, cadet teams, full gear required, for everyone else." Jack nodded, understanding the unspoken challenge. "I'll be ready, sir." That night, Jack's quarters became a gathering point for a mixed group of curious students. They peppered him with questions about Earth and its harsh environments, intrigued by his earlier display. Jack shared stories of Earth's varied climates, its wild predators, and its tumultuous history. Details that painted a picture of a planet beautiful but deadly, a cradle of resilient life. "Each trial on Earth teaches us to endure, to adapt," Jack explained. "It's not the hardship we fear, but the failure to overcome it." The students left with a new understanding of Jack and perhaps humans in general. They began to see his lack of armor not as a foolish risk but as a testament to his training and trust in his own abilities. The arena was a masterpiece of simulation technology, capable of replicating any terrestrial environment from the known universe. Today, it mimicked a dense, steamy jungle, with towering trees, thick underbrush, and a canopy that blocked most artificial sunlight, casting deep shadows on the ground. Humidity was palpable, clinging to the skin of every cadet as they readied their gear, their bodies sheathed in state-of-the-art combat suits equipped with environmental controls, camouflage capabilities, and integrated weapon systems. Jack stood apart from his team, wearing his standard-issue uniform, which was little more than a breathable fabric suit, lightweight and durable but conspicuously lacking in technological enhancements. He carried a basic combat rifle, calibrated for non-lethal stun settings. His calm demeanor and focused gaze did not go unnoticed. Whispers circulated among both teammates and competitors about his apparent disadvantage. Before the exercise began, the cadets gathered for a final briefing. The objective was clear: navigate through the jungle terrain to locate and capture a high-value target, a drone programmed to evade capture using advanced stealth technology. "Remember, this is about teamwork, strategy, and adaptability," Instructor Groth emphasized, his eyes briefly resting on Jack. "Use your resources wisely." As the teams dispersed to their starting positions, Jack huddled with his group. He quickly laid out a plan that capitalized on his unique strengths: human intuition and endurance. "Follow my lead on movement. We'll use minimal tech to avoid detection and rely on natural cover. Stay alert, stay quiet, and watch for natural signs." A horn sounded, reverberating through the arena, signaling the start of the drill. Immediately, the jungle came alive with the sounds of simulated wildlife, adding to the authenticity of the environment. Jack took the lead, his movements deliberate and silent, weaving through the undergrowth with an ease that belied the challenging conditions. His team followed, initially hesitant but gradually adapting to Jack's unconventional methods. They communicated with hand signals, avoiding electronic communications that could be intercepted or traced. Halfway to their objective, Jack's sharp ears picked up the faint rustle of leaves from a direction off their planned route. Signaling his team to halt, he crouched low, his eyes scanning the dense foliage. A moment later, he gestured for two of his teammates to flank the noise source. The ambush was swift and silent. Two opposing cadets, cloaked in adaptive camouflage, were momentarily stunned as Jack and his team incapacitated them with stun shots, capturing their tech gear and using it to their advantage. "Nice move, Harper," whispered one of his teammates, a Zeltrax named Fyra, her respect evident in her wide eyes. Jack nodded, redistributing the captured tech among his team, enhancing their capabilities while maintaining their low-tech approach. "Every tool has its place. Let's keep moving." As they progressed, Jack's strategy of blending low and high tech began to show its superiority. By integrating the stolen tech selectively, they managed to stay mostly invisible to sensors, while their human-led tracking and movement techniques allowed them to avoid traps and natural hazards that befuddled more tech-reliant teams. The climax of the drill came as they neared the drone. Jack's team, now perfectly synchronized, used a combination of diversion tactics and direct assault. Jack orchestrated a series of feints using the captured tech, drawing the drone into a clearing where it was exposed. With a well-placed stun shot, Jack disabled the drone, securing it with a triumphant grin. His team erupted in quiet cheers, their initial skepticism replaced by admiration and a newfound appreciation for their human teammates' tactics. As the simulation ended and the cadets regrouped, there was a palpable buzz about Jack's performance. Instructors and cadets alike gathered around, eager to understand his approach. Instructor Groth, a note of pride in his voice, debriefed the exercise. Cadet Harper and his team demonstrated exceptional synergy and strategic thinking. Today, we learned that sometimes the most advanced technology is the human mind and spirit. Jack's teammates clapped him on the back, their early doubts replaced by a strong camaraderie and respect. Jack, for his part, felt a deep satisfaction not just in their victory, but in having shown his peers the value of integrating different strengths and perspectives. This exercise had proven not only his capabilities, but it also paved the way for a deeper understanding and mutual respect among the diverse cadet cohort. After the jungle simulation concluded, the cadets and their instructors gathered in the main debriefing hall, a large amphitheater designed to foster open discussion and review of tactics and outcomes. The room buzzed with animated conversations as teams recounted various encounters and strategies. Instructor Groth took the stage, signaling for silence. The room quickly fell quiet, all eyes on the imposing figure as he began to dissect the day's events. Today's exercise demonstrated the importance of flexibility and the ability to adapt to unexpected circumstances, Groth began. His gaze swept over the cadets, pausing when he reached Jack. Cadet Harper's team, notably, used a combination of low-tech and appropriated high-tech strategies to secure victory. This blend of old and new school techniques, spearheaded by Cadet Harper, allowed them to outmaneuver and outthink teams that relied solely on advanced technology. The screens behind him lit up, showing various highlights from Jack's team maneuvers, the careful integration of stealth and sudden, decisive tactics, the strategic use of captured technology, and the final triumphant capture of the target drone. As we analyze these maneuvers, Groth continued, pointing to a freeze frame of Jack directing his teammates into a flanking maneuver. Consider what this means in terms of resourcefulness and leadership. Cadet Harper, perhaps you could share your thought process? Jack stood, feeling the weight of many curious eyes on him. He cleared his throat, his voice steady. "Thank you, sir. My approach is grounded in a philosophy that emphasizes adaptability and the use of the environment to one's advantage. On Earth, we often say, use what you have to secure what you need. This can mean adapting your strategy to the tools available, even if those tools aren't what you're accustomed to." Murmurs of agreement and nods from several cadets indicated a resonating message. Jack continued, "In this exercise, every piece of technology we appropriated was used not just for its intended purpose, but also as a way to enhance our natural human tactics of stealth and rapid adaptation." After the debrief, groups of cadets gathered around Jack, eager to discuss his tactics further. Among them was Talia, a cadet from a technologically advanced planet known for its reliance on AI-driven strategies. Her perspective had shifted noticeably. "Jack, your approach, it's radically simple but effective. My team was so caught up in configuring our tech that we didn't consider simple environmental tactics," Talia admitted, her tone a mixture of admiration and self-reflection. Another cadet, a burly draconid named Kresh, chimed in, his voice gruff. "We draconids pride ourselves on physical strength, but today was a reminder that brute force isn't always the answer. There's strength in the cunning use of minimal resources." The day's events spurred a new initiative within the academy. Inspired by Jack's success, Instructor Groth proposed a new training module focused on intercultural tactics and adaptability. This program would encourage cadets to teach and learn from each other's combat philosophies and practices, fostering a more versatile and cohesive understanding of strategy. Jack was asked to lead a series of workshops on Earth-based combat techniques, focusing on environment utilization, improvisation, and minimal reliance on technology. These workshops quickly became popular, drawing large numbers of cadets curious about Deathworlder methods, further enhancing Jack's role as a bridge between different worlds and ideologies. As Jack prepared for his workshops, he reflected on the broader implications of his presence at the academy. His initial goal had been to prove himself and, by extension, his planet. Now, he saw a larger opportunity, not just to demonstrate Earth's strengths but to actively contribute to a galaxy-wide exchange of knowledge and understanding. His fellow cadets' openness to learning from Earth's tactics gave Jack a profound sense of purpose. He was no longer just a participant in the Academy's program. He was a catalyst for change, pushing everyone, including himself, to think beyond their limitations and to see the value in diverse approaches to common challenges. This expanded role filled him with both pride and a sense of responsibility, driving him to explore even deeper the lessons he could offer and learn in this vast interstellar community. As Jack's workshops gained popularity, the cadets from various species began to see the value in integrating Earth-based tactics with their own. These sessions weren't just about learning how to move quietly or use the terrain. They were about seeing the world through another's eyes, understanding their fears, strengths, and strategic mindsets. Jack, with his easygoing demeanor and depth of knowledge, became a central figure in these exchanges. He encouraged his peers to share their own unique strategies, creating a rich tapestry of interstellar combat knowledge. One particular session focused on combined tactics, where each species' unique abilities were highlighted in team exercises. For instance, the Draconid's strength, the Zeltrax's agility, and the Tynaxian's sensorial acuity were combined with human adaptability to form a formidable mock combat unit. This synergy not only enhanced their tactical effectiveness but also built deep respect and camaraderie among the cadets. They started to see each other not just as fellow students but as integral parts of a larger, cohesive force. To deepen these newfound bonds, Jack initiated cultural nights at the Academy, where cadets shared food, stories, music, and traditions from their home worlds. These events became a cornerstone of Academy life, celebrated with enthusiasm and open hearts. Jack's introduction of Earth's diverse cuisines, from spicy curries to rich stews, was a hit, as were the traditional dances and music sessions that often went late into the night. These gatherings served a dual purpose. They were both a relief from the rigorous training and a vital tool for building interpersonal relationships and understanding, crucial for any military force but especially for one as diverse as theirs. The end-of-term simulation, dubbed the Gauntlet, was to be the most challenging yet. It was designed to test the cadets' ability to integrate their training in a high-stakes, multi-environment scenario involving not just combat but also problem-solving and survival skills. Jack's role as a leader was solidified as he was chosen to command one of the main units. His team was a mix of species, each member bringing their unique strengths to the table. In the weeks leading up to the simulation, they trained under Jack's guidance, blending their skills and learning to anticipate and complement each other's moves. The Gauntlet was a grueling 24-hour event. It began in a simulated cityscape at dawn, moved through a treacherous mountain range, and ended in a vast desert arena. Each environment presented unique challenges and objectives, from hostage rescue and urban warfare to long-range navigation and survival. Jack's leadership shone throughout the simulation. His strategy of using minimal tech to enhance natural skills, along with the insights gained from his workshops, allowed his team to navigate the complex scenarios with efficiency and creativity. They adapted quickly to changing conditions, often outmaneuvering teams that were bogged down by over-reliance on technology. As the simulation concluded with Jack's team successfully completing their final objective under a simulated starry sky, The cheers and applause from the observers, including the instructors, filled the arena. The graduation ceremony was bittersweet. The cadets, now close-knit through shared experiences and challenges, were proud of their accomplishments but aware of the paths ahead that would likely send them to different corners of the galaxy. Jack stood among his peers, his uniform adorned with medals signifying his leadership and bravery. When his name was called, he walked across the stage with a confident, humble smile. Instructor Groth, presenting the diplomas, gave Jack a firm handshake and a nod that spoke volumes of the respect he had earned. In his valedictory speech, Jack reflected on the journey they had all undertaken together. "We came here as strangers from across the stars," he said. "We leave as brothers and sisters in arms, equipped not just with skills but with understanding and respect for our diverse strengths and backgrounds." Post-graduation, Jack received several offers from elite military units and exploratory missions. However, his experience at the academy had sparked a new interest in diplomacy and intercultural education. He decided to join a newly formed interstellar peacekeeping initiative, where he could use his unique skills and perspectives to mediate conflicts and build bridges between different galactic communities. Jack's influence at the academy led to a permanent change in the curriculum, incorporating a more holistic approach to military training, emphasizing not just technological prowess but also the importance of cultural understanding and adaptive tactics. As he embarked on his new journey, Jack carried with him the memories and lessons of his time at the academy, ready to face whatever new challenges awaited him with the same resilience and openness that had brought him this far.